Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the newly buffed PAWMOT. This Pokemon got access to the fast move of Thunder Shock, which is honestly such an amazing upgrade. This Pokemon never struggled with the charge move, having both a wild charge as well as close combat, which is clones of each other. It always had like really good charge moves there because both of them are the kind of hardest hitting moves that you can run in the current meta game. And both of them of course drop also your defense, but he never really had a lot of bulk. But he had a great typing with electric and fighting, which is very much unique. I don't even know if there's another electric and fighting type Pokemon. But this is going to allow you to have a double stab on two of the hardest hitting moves with now a fast move that actually generates energy fast enough. And let me tell you, this team was absolutely amazing. I was able to get a 5-0, of course. That might seem like in the early stages of the season not as crazy, but to get the 5-0, we were able to beat a world champion of the game. So yeah, that is quite a nice thing, I would say. And we're gonna see here some very cool battles as well here today. We're going to be able to go for a parabolic charge here with our Dedenne. We can talk a little bit about the team as well, why it works, how it works. But as we will see here as well, the opponent is going to go ahead and go for a charge move. It's going to be the Surf. We're going to be able to still survive it from down low with quick attack on our Diggersby. And with that, we are going to be in a very good position as Dedenne doesn't really have play against our Diggersby. And this is literally where Diggersby comes in clutch and where like this team kind of all stems from is kind of the idea behind Diggersby plus PAWMOT plus then as well Dedenne. And we're going to talk a little bit about the team. In theory, this team would not really work out that well. All Pokemon kinda struggle against Grass-type Pokemon. Electric types cannot really hit it, and also, of course, the lead here itself is going to be very weak against it. But with a recent meta shift, you guys see it already here as well, at this point Fortress, going to be a Pokemon that completely destroys any kind of Grass type, so Grass types are kinda gone. And welcome in basically this team here that completely takes advantage of this. We're going to have here the lead that still also has coverage against grass types with Fire Punch at least, but the only grass type that really is around currently is the Jumpluff. Jumpluff is basically a Pokemon that is also part then weak to electric type moves. It's going to be then neutral for electric type moves because of grass type being resisted, but flying typing is going to be make it neutral, and so the most common grass type is not really an issue for this team all of a sudden, especially as it usually runs only flying type charge moves, which then means the Dedenne completely walls it, and you don't take super effective damage from your lead. And so like the weakness that might be there on paper isn't really there in real life, and honestly, yeah, the core between Diggersby and Dedenne is going to be a core that you're going to see quite often, I think, throughout the season. But then having PAWMOT as your say-so in this team is honestly such a good thing. But you kind of need to know where to use your shields, which you're going to see here sadly in this matchup, where I definitely didn't know where to use my shields, as I'm going to be here now at 2 shields to the left. But the opponent is going to be able to just barely find me down before I get to the charge move, and this is going to be a common theme because I'm on the Fire Punch and I just don't get it off, and I lose with 1 HP in a Dream in this matchup. Next opponent, we're going to see a great lead and LilyKatchum. Kind of Pokemon I want to still try out as well. LilyKatchum got access to the move Wrap, which is going to be now substituting the move Body Slam. I think Body Slam is a legacy move, so I have to think twice maybe if I want to get rid of this one, but here we're going to see Rep as well. Gonna drop our defense guaranteed, but as you see as well, we have great coverage with close combat against this Pokemon with our PAWMOT. PAWMOT would be able to kind of always win, I think, against LilyKatchum, as we're just going to be able to get to those close combats super fast. I was able to get up to 99 energy and then still go for my charge move, and then I only need 4 more to get to my next back-to-back then as well. So yeah, this is kind of a very good position for us. Dedenne is going up against our ground type again. They reveal the Goodra in the back, and we have our own fairy type, which means we win this battle. We have Charjabug next up against us, and I go into the wrong Pokemon. I actually wanted to go into my Dedenne here. I misclicked. If I go to Dedenne, this game is over immediately because I can just realign myself. But the opponent realizes here that they're actually faster than I am. Greninja is the fastest Pokemon in the game. Just generally, like you cannot have a Pokemon that's faster than Greninja to get to the charge moves currently. So yeah, that is going to be a bit of an issue here. But as you see, the opponent is going to decide to use another shield as well. So they're going to be 2 shields down, and we are going to go down here. So they're going to realign. So Charjabug doesn't hit, it's like the lead from us, which would be a really bad matchup for them. But honestly, I don't really care too much because, yeah, Charjabug is also pretty weak against Dedenne. I'm actually going to catch here a move that is doing more damage here than on my Dedenne, but because they go into the Charjabug here, I expect that they're going to be weak to Dedenne in the back. which I was completely wrong. I have no idea why they went here into the Digger SP, but luckily we're going to get the attack drop immediately from the Scorching Sands, which kind of seals the deal here. Any damage coming up next is going to be debuffed, and we are not going to get debuffed from the opponent. And so yeah, they're doing less damage than we do. We're going to be in a position where I can go for the Scorching Sand again before the opponent. They don't get the drop here this time around, but I put them now into a range where a Player Off is going to be enough to knock them out. I go up to the Fire Punch, swap out, go for the Player Off and knock them out, and with that it's only the Charger Bug left. Have a Fire Punch still stored. I'm still going to be able to resist every single hit that the opponent goes for against my Dedenne. Crunch resisted, Excel resisted, Discharge resisted. By the way, go for Exeter here. Exeter is doing more damage against me than the Discharge is doing. I think Discharge has, actually quite a bit less damage now than Exeter. So yeah, Exeter is definitely the better move to go for here. They're gonna go for it now. They would have actually knocked me out before I get to the move here. Otherwise, which would have still not mattered because I have still a Fire Punch stored, which would have been enough to knock out the opponent, but we can move on to the next one. Miltank is quite a wild one. I could actually see it having some play though in the current meta, because you're going to have access to a rollout, which is quite good in the current meta. But then again, would you not rather want to go for Licky? I'm not too sure. Yeah, rollout is really good in the current meta because you of course have a lot of bug type Pokemon. But you would like to have like one that has like maybe fire type coverage. Like fire type coverage is really, really important and really good in the current meta, which you will see as well here again with our Digger SB. We already saw Fire Punch, I think, land earlier on against the Fortress, but you need to have kind of fire type coverage currently, or you just have a very hard hitting Pokemon like PAWMOT here. I make a mistake. I stayed in for way too long here with PAWMOT before going for a charge move. I didn't need to use really the shield there. I could have went for my charge move earlier, but now I can still knock them out, and they reveal that they have Annihilate in the back, and I will be able to get the shield here. But not only this, I'm going to be able to align myself, and that is even more important. And you're gonna see me no shielding the first one here. And the main reason for this is that no matter what, they're gonna boost themselves anyway. Like it's always going to be kind of a neutral one that I'm going to have to take. And so I feel like this was the wisest play I could have done. I can now use a shield against the opponent's Annihilate, and I have to hit a Player Off in order to knock them out. But I wasn't too sure if they're going to swap out. They are not swapping out, and so the Annihilate is going to go down here. This is going to allow us to get the KO. And we have the Toxapex in the back, which is going to be actually a bit more of a trickier matchup now, as we don't really know on how this is going to go. We're going to have here the Scorching Sand coming through soon as well. The opponent is going to get a Brine off though. We don't get the debuff onto them. We have to hope that we kind of put them into range here or get the debuff. So then I can still go for another move. But as you see, we don't get the debuff, so we have to get to the Fire Punch in time, and we do, which is going to be enough for us to win the battle here. By the way, again, also all the battles are not really in order, so yeah, I got a 5-0 with this team. I actually got also, I think, a 4-1 with this team. So I think in total I went 9-3 or something. I think I started off kind of bad, and then I really completely destroyed everything the longer I play. Because honestly, PAWMOT is something that you have to kind of get used to. It's a very squishy Pokemon, and yeah, you see the firepower of it already. The opponent didn't really expect that I would have the close combat. Brick Break, by the way, is currently recommended on this Pokemon, and I fully disagree of that one. I would never run Brick Break on this Pokemon. Brick Break doesn't make sense. Maybe in calculations it makes sense, because then you can go for Brick Break, drop the opponent's at defense. I think it's guaranteed even. And then you're going to be able to, yeah, knock them out with a Wild Charge afterwards. But I don't think it's the right play. I would just go for double nuke on this Pokemon for sure. So we have Dedenne against us here in the lead, which is going to be a matchup where I kinda, need my Digger Speed for. But also, we will see that the opponent is gonna go ahead and go into their own Digger Speed. Luckily, again, we're gonna get the attack drop kinda straight away. And I play this matchup, I think, really, really bad. But let's see. We're going to have the attack drop onto us. That's totally fine. We're going to be able to take the hit from the opponent. And what we will do next is we're going to swap out into the PAWMOT. And here's where I completely scrap. I should just go straight for my close combat. I overfarmed by a bit too much. By one fast move too much. I could have got there already. Which would have allowed me to either get the KO or get the shield. They swap out into their Dedenne again. And yeah, it does not go like way better for me, because what we will see here is, of course, I got the drop, I think, from the Scorching Sand, which is really annoying. But yeah, Also, I should have went for the charge move here before they actually go for their own charge move, which would have allowed me to maybe even threaten a shield. At this point, I have to go for the Fire Punch, so I could have either got the shield from the opponent, got a knockout against the opponent. I didn't get any of that, and so, to be fair, I kinda deserve to lose this battle here. I really deserve to lose this battle. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. I have no idea. Like, I literally don't know what is happening in this battle. Luckily, again, I get another really crucial Scorching Sand drop, which, yeah, here definitely helped me, but with the Dust Clops in the back, I'm fairly certain if I don't get a drop here, which I don't, I'm kind of screwed. I do think I'm kind of screwed here. I have to kind of hope that my Dedenne is going to win this battle for me, but it looks really, really bad. So, we have the Parabolic Charge coming through, we're going to get the shield from the opponent, and we're going to be able to take a hit here as well. The defense is going to rise here as well from my Dedenne, and I'm going to be able to hopefully go for another Parabolic Charge. But I cannot really risk that they can still go for another move, but I do think actually that they're kind of energy dry, so I should have not swapped out of here, which you see as well. I should have just stayed in and went for another Parabolic Charge, and I think I would have mostly been able to win the battle like that. Like this, I'm going to be in a position where Shadow Punch is going to two-shot me, and so I'm forced to go for a player off here, hoping that this is going to be enough. Is it enough? It is not. We need one more fast move to knock them out. Very annoying, but well played by the opponent. I misplayed this battle. I would have mostly won this if I played it a bit better. But that's fine. We're going to see here the Gligar against us. This is going to be a matchup again where we can just go for the Fire Punch. We're going to be in a very okay spot here. Fire Punch is coming through. It's going to allow us to get some solid damage in. And as we will see, we're going to try to reach another one very soon after, which sadly doesn't really work out yet. They're going to go for the dig. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I just need to get them low. If I get them low, they're actually going to be even in Thunder Shock range, which is kind of funny. And I'm going to go to my Pawmot, and this should just be the Aerial Ace. And so I should have let the move go. They're gonna swap out into their own Belly Bolt, and that's actually an interesting matchup because what you see here is I resist every single hit from the opponent, allowing me to go for 2 close combats against the opponent now as well. First one coming through, gotta get shielded. The next one is coming through, is gonna get shielded as well. To be fair, I don't really care. My entire team walls Belly Bolt. My entire team. Like, nothing they can do about it. My Dedenne resist every hit that they have. My Diggersby double resist every charge move they have. So I am not really worried here. Parabolic Charge doesn't do damage. Their fast move is doing a bit of damage, but doesn't really matter either. We have the Gligar coming in. We can farm them down with a Dedenne. We have a shield advantage. We can go for a player off against the Belly Bolt. And we see here a Ferret coming in, where I can just boost myself up, which just makes it more impossible for the Belly Bolt to do any damage against us, which is kind of the ridiculous thing here. The Dedenne is just going to be able to get up to +2 defense now, which is really, really wild. We can take the hit here. It's going to be the Swift, or the Trailblaze actually. That is an interesting choice, but the opponent is going to go down now. Next battle here is against the world champ, Weedle. We're going to have a great lead here with the Stunfisk, but we also know that we need to align ourselves. But what we see here is that they are running Golisopod with the fast move of Shadow Claw, and I know already what they have in the back, and I know already that this is going to be a very positive matchup for us, as long as we can keep alignment. Alignment is key here though. If we don't keep alignment, we kind of screwed up. And so we're going to use a shield here on the Aqua Jet, and I see already there's no way that they're going to be able to realign themselves. They're going to realize it here as well, and with that I am going to be able to still go for some play roughs against the Stunfisk, which is going to open up basically our win here as well, because we get them down into the range where one Scorching Sand is going to be easily enough to knock them out, and they're going to have the Araquanid in the back, and they just lose to Pawmot. Their only win con is if they're going to hit the water pulse here, and I know that they're going to try to go for that because I know that this is their only win con, and we see here that they forfeit because it just got hardwalled. But yeah, this is the final battle now for my 5-0 set there again. As said before, like those battles are randomized for the video. They're not in order. But here we will see Machoke. And honestly, this thing was kind of scary, and I actually respect the opponent for running something like this, which is kind of funny. Parabolic Charge is going to boost our defense. They're going to be able to get to their next move a bit faster, even because it's going to be the Cross Chop. They're running a triple fighting type moveset, which is quite interesting, but honestly makes some sense. Like, you have Cross Chop as like a bait move, you have Dynamic Punch as like a nuke move. We saw it already in play. And as we will see as well though, we're going to be able to use a shield again, and we can realign. Realignment is very much the key here for this battle, as I don't want to have the Clodsire up against my electric type Pokemon. And as we see, they swap into that one, so that means that our Dedenne is going to be kind of free to hopefully win the battle for us, but we're going to be able to just go ahead and go for the Scorching Sands now. We need to have at least 2 to knock them out. I think 2 might be enough. We get the attack drop as well, which is kind of just an extra. Like, it's not really needed here to have the attack drop, but what is needed to hit this move? After this one, it doesn't really matter. The opponent is most likely going to go down anyway, because we can get the fast move in here. The Earthquake comes through, actually gets us kind of low, but we can stop out into the Dedenne, snipe the opponent's Machoke, which is going to allow us to get the KO here for sure. And now in the back, it's going to be Machamp, which I expected as well already. And this is going to be it for the opponent, because, yeah, they have Cross Chop here, but PAWMOT, as far as I know, should be able to win the CMP tie against the opponent. I'm waiting on the clock here because I was thinking if I maybe have to catch the move. That would be kind of ideal. But as you see here, they're going to go actually for the Cross Chop and not a Dynamic Punch, which just makes sense. Cross Chop is not enough to knock us out. And with that, we are going to be able to win this battle here as well. And this was a 5-0, beating a world champion in the middle of it as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this team, PAWMOT, really, really nice. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.